Hello, everybody. Welcome to another review of the Oval. Excuse me. So we start out with Max and Bobby, and so their cabin has just been blown up, and they are trying to lay still because Max is saying, "Well, we can't move because if we move, and another hit can be authorized." So they stay still. And Bobby's trying not to be cooperative, and Bobby is just not too bright, when it comes to this situation. He just seems to be so, wrapped up when it comes to Lily that he's not thinking clearly. And Max, he thinks that Lily gave them up. Bobby tells him, don't even think about that. Um, And Max is telling him, you need to listen to more than your dog. And he's right. Bobby's just a little bit too caught up with, with his infatuation with Lily that he's kind of not taking this whole situation as serious as it is. He's kind of slipping. Um, so where's, let me find it in my notes. So, Lily calls Bobby, and Max is like, don't tell her where we're going, even though they don't know where they're going. Max does not want to tell Bobby where they're going. And so Bobby, now he seems suspicious of Lily, and she's like, are you angry because I didn't want to come to the cabin? Well, I'm coming now. And he's like, oh, so now you want to come to the cabin. And it's like, what's with the change here? So I guess what Max was saying kind of got through to Bobby, and Bobby basically just hangs up on Lily. And that was that with that. Not too much going on with that with Max and Bobby. We don't know what their next move is yet. Meanwhile, we saw a scene with Kyle at the beginning. He's just dancing around and being weird. Just a wacko. And speaking of Kyle, he followed Dale and found Dale sleeping in his truck. Dale was somewhere near, I think it was the Justice Department, somewhere like that. And he's like, did you follow me? And Dale just wants to be left alone. And he threatens Kyle, I will run you up with my truck. And Kyle doesn't really take him seriously, and I'm like, Dale is not playing around. He wants to be left alone. And Kyle is like, well, you'd rather sleep in an old truck than sleep with me. And Dale's like, yeah. So like I said in the previous review, it seems like Kyle has transferred his attentions from Donald to Dale, because he really did not appreciate Lily moving back into the house with Donald. So let's talk about Barry. So they drag him to that smelly old compound, and Barry's like, where is my daughter? Where is my daughter? I gave you the money. And Ruth is not giving him any answers at all. And Barry's cursing. And Ruth's like, we don't use that language in here. And I'm like, but you do have freaky circus sex in there and kill people. I mean, compared to all of that, some four-letter words and some foul language are absolutely nothing. But anyway, Ruth ends up knocking Barry out, and Daikon orders him taken to a trailer. So Barry is in a lot of trouble now. And Richard is worried about him. When he realizes that Barry did not come home, he can't get a hold of him on the phone, and Nancy's not even thinking about any of this. She's worried about herself and saving her marriage. And Richard is basically like, just please leave me alone. Please, please, please. And he wants to go into work, and she's like, well, that doesn't start for such and such hours. And basically, he's just like, yeah, I'm wrong. And so let's just keep up with Richard and Barry and all that. So Richard ends up calling Sharon, who is in bed with Kareem, and Kareem was making the ugliest face I've ever seen. And it was supposed to be his orgasm face, and it was just weird and ugly and creepy. And I'm like, that would be enough to make me want to leave somebody alone if they were making weird faces like that. I can't even really describe what it was. It was a mess. But anyway, Richard calls Sharon, and he's like, Barry did not come home last night. And she's like, what? And I do not think she is done with Barry just yet, because her concern was obvious. And, she could be concerned about Barry and not want to be with him, but the way Tyler Perry goes back and forth, you never know where these things can go. So, okay, so let's get down to Priscilla. And Priscilla's scenes are the ones that I am enjoying the most. So she wants Sam gone. And she's like, I threw your things downstairs. And Sam is fortunate that she didn't bleach or burn them after what he did. And he asked her, did you take $25,000? And she's like, yeah. He's all like, well, you could have told me. And my checks are bouncing. And she said, I don't care. And so he finally gets mad and leaves. He slams the door, and she's like, and stop slamming my effing door. And that's something you don't do to a person. It's slam their door, because that will really get to a person. So that's one of the ways to really irritate somebody, is to slam their door. Especially when you're in an argument with them. So Sam gets downstairs. Victoria calls him, and she's telling him, don't wear a suit, because she wants to go on another run. And yeah, Sam has already done the damage, but he could at least have said, you know what, I need to, I can't be your security detail anymore. I have to back away from you. At least to try to, he should at least try to salvage his marriage. I don't think there's any salvage in it, but he should at least try to and be apologetic about it. So Victoria is smiling, and Hunter wants to know why. He's like, why are you smiling? And she tells him, go do some work. You are just lazy. And she says she's going for a run, and he says, well, you can't salvage that fat ass. Hunter is just so rude, but I found that kind of funny. Just the way he delivered the line just was funny to me. So let's see. So Priscilla, she goes over to Nancy and Richard's house, and on her way up there, she's walking up to the door. She calls Diane. She's trying to get a hold of her. We know she's not going to get a hold of Diane. So Jody is outside, and she's still angry that Nancy read her for filth, and she's like, Nancy, she cussed me out like a dog in the street. And so Jody tells her about Priscilla about Richard and Sam fighting, and then Nancy comes out there and she apologizes, and Jody's like, "Well, I don't know if I accept that apology," and Nancy's like, "I'll be over there later." So I think Jody's gonna forget about it, because something tells me Jody doesn't have that many friends, and Nancy is probably one of the only friends she has, so she'll probably let it go and all of that. So Nancy fills in Priscilla on what happened, about the fight and all of that, and she's like, "Well, Sam thinks Richard told you something," and Priscilla's just like, "You know what? I don't want to talk about that." And Nancy's talking about her situation. She's saying that she's relieved the truth is out. It felt like a weight was lifted, all of that. And then Priscilla says she's getting a divorce, and Nancy's like, "Is it really that bad?" And Priscilla's like, "Yeah, it's really that bad." And Priscilla was really stuck on that line about that Jody used about Nancy cussing her out like a dog in the street. And she was like a dog in the street. She said it repeated it a couple of times. That was a little bit of a funny part. So let's talk about Donald. So Donald, he's sure that Max and Bobby are dead. Hunter was not so sure, and he wanted to see it on the big screen. And he's like, "Oh, it's like a video game." And he sounded like some dumb kid. It's like, "Oh, dude, it's just so cool. I mean, it's like a video game." This is the way Hunter is coming off like some sort of idiotic kid. Except he's an adult and the president and should be behaving better than this. But we've had a moron in the White House before, and he just got out of there this year, and that is what vibe Hunter was giving me. That's all I'll say about that. So Priscilla's over there at the White House, and Alonso tells her about the 911 tape and how an Agent Smith was supposed to gone and picked it up, but he didn't get a hold of it. And he tells her that Kyle says it was some covert operation to get that tape. And she's like, and Priscilla's like, "But wait, if it's covert, why are you telling me?" I'm not sure I don't know where this story is going to go, because there's so many different storylines going on. And I'm not sure that they're all going to continue on, or if something's going to get dropped, like stuff in If Loving You Is Wrong got dropped. So so Victoria summarized, and she's going on and on and on about how he made her feel better and how great it was. And I'm like, it wasn't that much. It was just like seemed like a few seconds. It wasn't even like, it was like he treated her like a little bit disrespectful, like, "Okay, you're just here for my use. I'm going to just do this like this." And she was calling it making love, and I'm like, that was not making love. I'm not gonna just say the word that I would use for it, but it was not making love. And Sam is just like, he's not even trying to stay away from Victoria or try to say, this has got to stop. He's not even trying to put an end to that. He's just listening to what she has to say, and all he can say is, "Ma'am, ma'am, ma'am, ma'am." And I'm like, stop saying that. It's annoying now. And so Priscilla, she goes to Jason's room, and she wants to, she's trying to find out what he has to show her. And of course, he's got to be disgusting. And "I'll show you if you touch me." And of course, he has no clothes on, like he usually is like that. He usually has no clothes on. He's just being disgusting. And then she's like, she threatens him. And then he just shows her the video of Sam and Victoria, and she's like, and I'm like, you knew what happened. But then again, I guess actually seeing it happen would be rather traumatizing. I mean, the person you married to is doing it to someone else and you see it on video. That would be tremendously traumatizing. So Priscilla leaves Jason's room and Victoria catches her coming out. And that's where the show ended. Now, I'm waiting to see if this picks up some steam so far. It's the second episode of the second half of the second season. Yeah, that's right. And I'm not seeing too much movement yet. There's a little bit of something going on. I'm not sure where this season's going and where the storylines are going, but I hope it picks up. And that's right. Hunter said that Gail was in some kind of internment camp. So that's my review. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye.